The dirt hit the coffin. My son was gone forever. Then my phone buzzed. The message made my blood freeze. Mom, I'm alive. Don't trust David. He's not who you think he is. If you are watching this, kindly subscribe and let me know where you are watching from. And I hope that you're safe, wherever you are. My name is Maria Martinez, and this is the story of how I discovered my husband had orchestrated the most unthinkable betrayal imaginable. The October wind cut through my black dress like ice. Around me, friends and family stood in silence as the pastor spoke words I couldn't hear. All I could see was that small wooden box disappearing into the ground. My son Jake, 22 years old, gone. David gripped my arm, his fingers digging into my sleeve. His tears had stopped hours ago, but the red around his eyes remained. He'd been the strong one through all of this. Planning the funeral, handling the arrangements, comforting our relatives. I should have been grateful. Instead, something felt wrong. The accident happened 3 weeks ago. Jake's car went off the bridge into Miller's Creek. The current was strong that night. They found his car submerged, driver door open, but no body. Sometimes the creek doesn't give them back. Officer Rodriguez had said, no relation, despite the name. The current carries them downstream. Could be weeks before, but they declared him dead anyway. Death certificate signed. Insurance claims filed. My phone buzzed against my chest. I ignored it. This was my son's funeral. Nothing else mattered. It buzzed again. David's grip tightened. Turn it off, he whispered. The pastor was finishing his prayer. People began moving toward their cars. The gravediggers waited respectfully in the distance, shovels ready. My phone buzzed a third time. This time I looked, unknown number. 3 messages. The first, Mom, I'm alive. The second, don't trust David. The third, he's not who you think he is. My legs gave out. I dropped to my knees beside the grave, staring at the screen. David was beside me instantly. Maria, what's wrong? I showed him the messages. His face went white, then red, then white again. That's sick, he breathed. Who would do this? At Jake's funeral, but I was studying his face. The way his eyes darted, left when he lied. The way his voice went higher. 25 years of marriage had taught me his tells. He was lying about something. The drive home was silent. David stared out the window while I gripped the steering wheel. The messages burned in my mind. Jake had been distant the last few months, working late, making strange phone calls. When I'd asked about it, David always had explanations. He's seeing someone new. You know how secretive he gets about girls. He's working on a surprise for your birthday. He's just growing up, Maria. Children pull away. But what if it wasn't any of those things? At home, David went straight to the kitchen. He always cleaned when he was nervous. The counters were already spotless, but he scrubbed them anyway. I went to Jake's room. Everything was exactly as he'd left it. Bed unmade, clothes scattered. His laptop sat closed on the desk. I opened it. Password protected. I tried his birthday, my maiden name, his girlfriend's name from high school. Nothing. Then I remembered. Jake had always used the same password for everything since he was 12. Red Sox 2001. The screen unlocked. His email was open. The last sent message was from 3 weeks ago, the day before his accident, to martinez847@email.com. Subject: We need to talk, Mom. I found something. Something about David. Can't tell you over the phone. Meet me tomorrow night at the old warehouse on 5th Street, 8 p.m. Come alone. Don't tell David. I stared at the screen, my own email address, but I'd never received this message. My hands shook as I scrolled through his browser history. Bank websites, legal document searches, private investigator services. What had Jake discovered? Footsteps in the hallway. David's voice. Maria, what are you doing? I closed the laptop quickly, just remembering him. He stood in the doorway, dish towel in his hands. His eyes were puffy, but there was something else there, something calculating. We should get some rest, he said. It's been a long day. That night, I lay awake listening to David breathe beside me. Even in sleep, he seemed tense, his jaw clenched, his hands balled into fists. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed again. The warehouse on 5th Street. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Come alone. This time I was ready. I grabbed the phone and typed back, "Jake, is this really you?" The response came immediately. "Yes." David deleted my first email. "He's been watching everything. Be careful." My heart hammered against my ribs. My son was alive. But if he was alive, why had David let me believe he was dead? Have you ever felt like someone close was hiding something from you? That gut feeling, that something just isn't right. The next day, David left for his brother's house. "I need some space," he said, kissing my forehead. "Luis is expecting me for lunch." The moment his car disappeared down the street, I was in motion. Jake's laptop revealed more secrets. Bank statements showing large withdrawals from accounts I didn't recognize. Insurance policies I'd never seen. Life insurance on Jake worth $200,000, taken out just 6 months ago. David had signed as the beneficiary. I called our insurance agent, Tom Bradley. We'd known each other for 15 years. "Maria, I'm so sorry for your loss," Tom said. David handled everything so efficiently. Already filed the claim. The claim. The life insurance payout. $200,000. He said you were too grief-stricken to handle the paperwork. My mouth went dry. "Tom, I never authorized any life insurance on Jake." Silence. Then "Maria, you and David both signed the application. I have your signatures on file. Can you email me a copy?" "Of course. Give me 5 minutes." The signatures were perfect. Too perfect. David had been forging my name for months, and I'd never noticed. But why would he take out life insurance on our son? Unless, my phone rang. Private number. "Mom." Jake's voice, barely a whisper. "Jake, my God, where are you? Can't talk long. He has people watching. The accident wasn't an accident. He tried to kill me." The words hit like physical blows. "What?" "He hired someone. Made it look like I lost control on the bridge. But I jumped before the car went over. Been hiding ever since." "Why would David want to hurt you?" "Because I found out about Rachel." "Rachel? Who's Rachel?" But the line went dead. I sat in Jake's room, staring at the phone. Rachel. The name meant nothing to me, but clearly it meant everything to Jake. I opened his laptop again, and searched for Rachel in his emails. Nothing. His browser history. Nothing. Then I checked his deleted files. Dozens of photos. David with a woman I didn't recognize. Tall. Red hair. Expensive dress. They were holding hands. Kissing. In one photo, they were signing documents together. The timestamps showed these were taken over the past year, while I was working 60-hour weeks to pay for Jake's college tuition. While I believed my husband was home taking care of our family, my phone buzzed. Text from David. "Having wonderful time with Luis. Be home late. Don't wait up." But there was a problem with that message. Luis lived in Phoenix. He'd moved there 2 years ago after his divorce. I called Luis directly. "Maria, how are you holding up after the funeral?" "Luis, is David with you?" "David? No, Maria. I haven't seen David in months." "Why?" "My husband wasn't with his brother. He was somewhere else, with someone named Rachel. I hired a private investigator that afternoon. Marcus Webb, former police detective, came recommended by my lawyer. Within 2 hours, he had answers. Rachel Blackwood, Marcus said, sliding photos across his desk. Real estate developer. Very wealthy. Very married, but not to her husband anymore. The photos showed David and Rachel together at expensive restaurants. Shopping for jewelry. Entering a downtown apartment building. How long? I asked. Based on what I can trace, at least 18 months, but probably longer. 18 months. While I was working to support our family. While Jake was struggling through college. While I believed we were happy. There's more, Marcus continued. Your husband's been moving money. Lots of it. Joint accounts emptied. Credit lines maxed out. All transferred to offshore accounts. He showed me bank statements. Our savings account, 0. Our checking account, 0. Credit cards I didn't know existed. All in my name. All maxed out. How much? I whispered. Conservative estimate? He's stolen about $300,000. $300,000. My retirement. Jake's college fund. The money we'd saved for 25 years. But here's the interesting part, Marcus said. He's been planning this for over a year. The insurance policies, the financial transfers. Even fake documents showing you consented to various transactions. He handed me another file. Inside were loan applications with my forged signature, business partnerships I'd never heard of, legal documents transferring our house to David's sole ownership. He's been systematically stealing your entire life, Marcus said. The only thing standing in his way was your son. Jake knew. Jake hired me 3 weeks ago. He discovered the insurance policies and became suspicious. Smart kid. He was gathering evidence to protect you. The pieces fell into place. Jake's investigation, his email asking to meet, David's convenient story about his accident. He tried to kill him, I said. Marcus nodded grimly. Hired a professional. Made it look like an accident. But Jake was smarter than they expected. My phone rang at midnight. Jake again. Mom, are you alone? Yes. Son, where are you? Safe house. Marcus is protecting me. Did he tell you everything? About the money? The insurance? Rachel? There's more. Jake's voice was steady now, determined. David's been planning this for 2 years. He and Rachel are getting married next month. My blood turned to ice. Married. Soon as the insurance money comes through, they already have the house picked out, in the Bahamas. No extradition treaty. He was going to disappear with my money, my life, and his new wife. After making me believe my son was dead. Jake, we have to call the police. With what evidence? His word against ours. He's been too careful. We need proof. What kind of proof? He's meeting Rachel tomorrow night. Big celebration. They think the insurance money will clear this week. Marcus has the location. You want me to follow him? I want you to record his confession. The plan was simple. I would confront David about Rachel, get him to admit to the affair, the money, the insurance fraud, record everything on my phone. Simple, except for one problem. If David had tried to kill Jake once, what would he do to me? The next evening, I waited for David to come home. He walked in at 7, humming. Actually humming. Good day, I asked. Wonderful. Luis sends his love. The lie came so easily. How many lies had I believed over the years? David, we need to talk. Something in my voice made him freeze. His eyes went sharp, calculating. About what? I pulled out the photos of him and Rachel, spread them across the kitchen table like cards. The color drained from his face, but he recovered quickly. Maria, I can explain. Please do. He sat down slowly, his mind racing behind his eyes. It's not what it looks like. It looks like my husband is having an affair. I was going to tell you, after Jake's funeral. I didn't want to add to your grief. The audacity was breathtaking. Even now, caught red-handed, he was manipulating me. And the money, David, our savings accounts? His expression shifted. The mask slipped for just a moment, and I saw something cold underneath. What money? I showed him the bank statements, the forged signatures, the insurance policies. David, you've stolen our entire life savings. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he smiled. Actually smiled. Prove it. What would you do if you discovered your spouse's ultimate betrayal? How far would you go to protect what's left of your family? I don't have to prove it, I said, pulling out my phone. I already have. David's eyes locked onto the device. Maria, what are you doing? Recording this conversation. Every word you've said is evidence. He lunged for the phone, but I was ready. I pulled it back, keeping the recording active. You can't use that in court, he hissed. I didn't consent to being recorded. Actually, I can. Georgia is a one-party consent state. I only need my permission. His face twisted into something ugly. The loving husband mask was gone completely now. You think you're so smart, he spat. Just like your precious son. Jake's dead, David. Because of you. He laughed. Actually laughed. Jake's not dead, you idiot. That little brat is hiding somewhere, ruining everything. My heart stopped. What did you just say? I said Jake's not dead. The car was supposed to take him with it, but he jumped. Coward couldn't even die properly. There it was. The confession I needed. All recorded. You tried to murder our son. I tried to clean up a problem. Jake was sniffing around where he didn't belong, just like you are now. David stood up slowly, and I noticed his hand moving toward the kitchen drawer. The one with the knives. David, don't. 25 years, Maria. 25 years of your boring life. Your pathetic dreams. Your mediocre existence. Rachel showed me what real life could be like. His hand closed around something in the drawer. You were going to steal everything and disappear. I was going to start over, without you, without Jake, without any reminders of this miserable life. The knife came out fast, 8-inch blade, sharp enough to cut bone. David, put it down. Why? So you can destroy my future. So you can keep me trapped in this house, in this marriage, forever? He took a step toward me. I should have killed you first. Made it look like a murder-suicide. Grieving mother loses her mind after son's death. The police will find the recording. What recording? He smiled, raising the knife. You dropped your phone. It broke in the struggle. But he'd forgotten something important. I wasn't the helpless wife he'd manipulated for 25 years anymore. I was a mother with nothing left to lose. When he lunged, I was ready. The kitchen chair caught David in the midsection, doubling him over. The knife clattered across the floor. I grabbed my phone and ran for the front door. Behind me, David screamed like a wounded animal. Marcus, I shouted into the phone. Now, he confessed to everything. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Marcus had been waiting with backup, just as we'd planned. David stumbled out of the kitchen, blood on his lip, fury in his eyes. You set me up, just like you set up Jake, just like you set up me. The front door exploded open. Police officers flooded in, weapons drawn. David Martinez, you're under arrest for attempted murder, insurance fraud, and theft. As they cuffed him, he looked at me with pure hatred. This isn't over, Maria. Rachel has connections. Money. We'll fight this. With what? The money you stole is frozen. Rachel's assets are under investigation, and I have your full confession recorded. Officer Rodriguez read David his rights while I sent the recording file to Marcus, my lawyer, and the insurance company. 25 years of marriage ended in a kitchen with knives and handcuffs, but it wasn't over yet. Where is Rachel? I asked Marcus. Flight to the Bahamas. Leaves in 2 hours. Can we stop her? Marcus smiled grimly. Already done. FBI picked her up at the airport. Turns out she's wanted for similar schemes in 3 other states. David had chosen the wrong partner in crime. Rachel Blackwood wasn't just a cheater, she was a professional con woman, and now they were both caught. As the police car pulled away with David inside, another car pulled up. Jake stepped out. My son, alive, safe, walking toward me with tears in his eyes. I ran to him, pulled him into my arms, and held him like I'd never let go. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. You saved us both, I whispered. You saved everything. 3 months later, I sat in a courtroom watching my husband of 25 years receive his sentence. David Martinez, you are hereby sentenced to 15 years in federal prison for attempted murder, insurance fraud, theft, and conspiracy. 15 years. Jake would be 37 when he got out. I would be 73, but we would be alive, together, free. Rachel received 20 years. Her previous convictions added to her sentence. David had chosen a partner with an extensive criminal record. The insurance company not only denied his claim, but sued him for the full amount of the policies, plus damages. Our house, our cars, everything he'd tried to steal was returned. Jake started therapy to deal with the trauma of nearly being murdered by his stepfather. He also testified at David's trial, his evidence crucial in securing his conviction. How did you know? I asked him one evening, as we sat in our kitchen, the same kitchen where David had pulled a knife on me. Little things at first. Phone calls he'd end when I walked in. Credit card statements with charges he couldn't explain. But the big thing was the insurance policy. How did you find out about that? He left the paperwork on his desk. When I saw he'd forged your signature, I knew something was seriously wrong. Jake had saved both our lives by being observant and brave enough to investigate. The money David had stolen was slowly being recovered. Rachel's assets were seized and liquidated. We wouldn't get everything back, but we'd get enough to rebuild. More importantly, we had each other. The son I'd thought was dead was very much alive. The husband who'd tried to destroy us was behind bars. David had taught me an important lesson: never trust blindly, even those closest to you. But Jake had taught me something more important. Family protects family, no matter the cost. How far would you go to protect your child? I'd been willing to believe mine was dead, rather than face the truth about my marriage. Jake had been willing to fake his own death to save us both. The text message that had shattered my world at Jake's funeral had actually been my salvation. Those words, "I'm alive, "Don't trust my husband," had led me to uncover a conspiracy that would have destroyed everything I'd worked for. David had planned the perfect crime. He'd stolen our money, taken out insurance policies, and hired a killer to eliminate the one person who could expose him. But he'd underestimated both Jake and me. He'd seen us as obstacles to be removed, not people who would fight back. Today, Jake works as a private investigator with Marcus Webb. They specialize in cases involving domestic fraud and financial abuse. David's betrayal has become his mission to help others. As for me, I've learned to trust my instincts, to ask questions, to never assume that someone's love for you means they won't hurt you. The anniversary of Jake's death is next month. We're planning to spend it together, very much alive, celebrating the family that survived David's ultimate betrayal. If you found this story powerful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more true stories of ordinary people facing extraordinary betrayals. Share in the comments, have you ever discovered a family member wasn't who they seemed to be? Your story might help someone else recognize the warning signs before it's too late. And remember, sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you need to watch most carefully.